This video is 5 things that I absolutely love about the Charvel DK24 and 1 thing that I absolutely cannot stand about it. And if you've seen my other Charvel videos, it's not the thing that you think it is. Let's get into it. The thing that bothers me about this guitar is so unfair. It's just, I can't believe that I'm having this talk again this many times. The first thing that I absolutely love about this guitar is the pickup selection. Now on the Charvels and even the Jacksons that I've played in the past, that's important because Jackson and Charvel are the same company. The Charvels that I've played in the past, they've always had a combination JB and 59. And to me, that was the holy grail of tones. I always thought to myself that that was the best possible combination. I completely understood why it was in every Charvel that I played. However, this guitar comes stock with Alnico Pro, possibly Alnico Pro 2. Let me know. Comment if I'm right or wrong. And a full shred in the bridge. And I never thought that I could enjoy something so much. I'm already a Seymour Duncan guy. That's like my favorite, and now newly also a Fishman Fluence guy. But something about this combination that I mentioned in another video that I did with this guitar is this. It's got a very dark characteristic to it in both positions. It has a very dark characteristic to it that I like, because when you're using a modeler or really any high gain tone, whether you're on a Helix or an Axe Effects, or you're playing through a Marshall Plexi with like a Rat in front of it or something like that, something that happens is when you make your tone kind of like in your bedroom and nice and quiet, or like in headphones or something, when you go to a gig and you try and make the sound bigger, sometimes you get some really high overtones that you don't expect. And for me, I've always mixed my tones a little bit darker in my bedroom on purpose so that when I get there, I have that little bit of cushion. And these pickups kind of do that for me, where it's like, it's got that darker feel, but when you turn it up, it just sings and it cuts through. It's so cool. Something about it is just dark and creamy and rich. At the same time, it has that percussive element that some of us in the shredder world are looking for. When you hear certain players and it has that very percussive legato to it. I really can't say enough good things about these pickups. They're just so good. Now, part of this sound may not be possible without the second thing that I really love. And number 2 is the tone knob. Specifically, the tone knob. Let me show you what happens here, okay? For those who don't know, Charvels are famously super strats. And one of the things that Charvels did early on when they would modify strats is they would take everything out of the signal chain that wasn't necessary in hopes of making the hottest tone possible, the hottest signal output. And so what they would do is they would completely take out the tone control. Now, years later, I guess people want a tone knob again. And in this case, what they do is they put in what they call the no-load tone control. So check this out. Let's see if you can hear it. Ready? I'm gonna bring you up to the microphone for a second. Ready? I'm gonna turn it all the way up. You see what happened there? Let's do it again. So you actually feel it click into place when it's all the way up. And what happens is when it's turned all the way up and it clicks into place like that, it actually removes the tone pot from the signal entirely, which I think is a really cool homage to the early Charvel Super Strats, but also with that modern need of a tone knob. Makes me very happy personally. I think there's a really cool mix of old school and new there. And I mean, like, the bonus about just the knobs and actually all the metal in general, it's not gold, it's actually brushed gold. And number 3 is actually just the look. The fit and finish for a guitar that I'm not gonna say this is a cheap guitar by any means, but I think we've gotten so okay with expensive guitars not being flashy or beautiful that we forget sometimes just like how easy it is for them to make a beautiful looking instrument again. And guitars from this brand that are very minimalist, and that's cool, and I like them. I have some of them, but in this case, it's just beautiful. This is a real, like, eye-catching guitar. And the thing that I really love is that I've seen players that have the custom shop Jacksons, and this has a very serious custom shop look to it, and those Jacksons are super expensive, and this really is not far off feeling from one of those. And that's really cool that, like, a not completely destroying your bank account guitar finally looks good again. Now, the funny thing is, if you flip it over, they could have easily not made this beautiful, because this is just like a maple cap on top. But if you flip it over, it brings me to my next point, which is point number 4. Some of you can already tell what this is and why I love it. Number 4 on the list of things I love about this guitar is that the body is made out of mahogany. And mahogany is the wood where all tone wood believers kind of stop and say, okay, yeah, that one makes sense. Like, no matter who you are, if you believe in tone woods or not, I think we all agree that some of the best sounding guitars have been mahogany. And I think it's just also from a workhorse standpoint, I think having a like nice and hard wood just makes this guitar stay beautiful longer. So to me, that's really important. They did such a great job with the grain too, like just the way it looks. Hold on, it looks absolutely breathtaking. Again, it looks like a custom shop guitar, and it's very much not. Let's see if it sounds like mahogany. In that little shred right there, can you tell yet what the thing I can't stand about this guitar is? While we're on the back of the guitar, we should talk about the one thing that just made me so mad when I did the review of, I think, the Charvel Sandemus Pro Mod on my channel, right? You can check that video out up here in a little and come back to this one if you want, but check that one out. The thing that bothered me so much about other Charvels, especially modern ones, is that they don't have a heel cut. And this right here, this has a lovely, beautiful, smooth, transparent heel cut. I can hold the guitar right here and not even feel like there is anything in my hand. To me, that's just worth its weight in gold. I just don't know why we are so okay with it not being there. Maybe I'm just a prima donna. You let me know. I just think it's so silly to not do it right now, and especially this one being so beautiful. Before I get into the one thing that I can't stand about this guitar that just upsets me so much, I want to tell you a few things. First thing is all the honorable mentions of the things on this guitar that, like, I had to pick 5, but I really could have just told you everything about this guitar that I really love. So I'm just gonna run over a few of the other things really quick. I love that the input jack is on this upside down angle off the back, nice and out of the way, tucked away. I have loved that since the day they started doing that. I think with like Guthrie Govan's model, and even Ibanez does it now and stuff like that in a similar way. Love it. I love that they use the thumb wheel. Again, I've said before, if you don't love it, you've never needed it. I love that these models come with jumbo frets. They are not stainless steel frets, but they are jumbo frets. I like oversized strap buttons because when I'm testing out a guitar, I don't want to have to put strap locks on it right away. I want to be able to take it out to the wild and gig with it. Make my opinions. Oh, and one thing to watch out for is there is a little bit of spring noise sometimes from the Floyd, and there's plenty of fixes you can get for that. Now, the second thing that I want to tell you that's really important is that I am thinking about giving this guitar away. I'm planning on doing a really big guitar giveaway at 50,000 subscribers, so let me know if you want this to be in the giveaway list. And be sure to subscribe. Stay tuned for more on that. Okay, finally it's here. The thing that I can't stand about this guitar. This is so silly. I'm gonna say it in a way that doesn't sound very nice, but then I'm gonna explain. It's just the neck. So when I had in like the third video that was on my channel was a video of me doing a review of my Charvel Style 2 Pro Mod, I think it was a San Dimas, right? It was the Super Telly. And at the time, I had gotten really into playing and practicing and just trying to get my skills up to another level. And I was practicing so hard and all the time, and I was teaching with that guitar, and I was experiencing some terrible hand pain. Lo and behold, years later, ever since this guitar came out, I wanted to get my hands on one of them. And Sweetwater sent this over for my every level of Strat video. And I was so excited to finally get it and just feel what it's like. And I'm not kidding, about 10 minutes into practicing, I had the same problem that I had my old Charvel. It really bums me out because I don't know if it's too thin or too skinny or a combination of both, because the frets and the fretboard are great because it's got a compound radius fretboard. It's phenomenal to play on the front, but I get this pain that goes down my thumb and into my arm. It's really upsetting. It has zero to do with the guitar. It has nothing to do with the guitar. It has everything to do with the anatomy of my hand. An amazing luthier, Dave Patillo, that he works on Bruce Springsteen's guitars, he works on Billy Joel's guitars, his dad worked on Elvis's guitars. Absolutely brilliant people. He actually once explained to me that the neck size and your hand is kind of like a shoe size to your foot. And so finding that just right is very important. This is a phenomenal guitar, it's a phenomenal neck, so don't let that deter you. And it may be perfect for you. I can't emphasize enough, go try one out and play it. And again, I believe in this guitar so much that I may give it away to someone. And I only would give away stuff that I truly believe is good. And if you want to see truly where I placed this guitar in my every level of Strat video, you could check that video out right here.